We all know that Manchester United want rid of Marcus Rashford, but are there realistic options for the forward in January? We're going to go through the whole list of who has said yes, who has said no, and what Manchester United could possibly do in January. There's quite a bit to get through in that as well. A bit of an update on the leak situation that has come out from The Athletic. Antony's future at Manchester United as well. United also looking at another 17-year-old striker that they could get very, very cheap in the summer, who is just starting to make waves elsewhere in Europe right now. More on that as well. Of course, all of your live comments and a look ahead, or starting to look ahead to the week ahead for Manchester United in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. How important is it for Ruben Amorim to get his hands on a trophy, or is it a complete free pass this season? With what Manchester United are looking at, who we're up against, do we have to expect a trophy from Ruben Amorim this season with what he is doing at the football club? But all of that, much more, of course, but more importantly, your input into the show, everything and your thoughts on what is going down. First of all, we're getting into Marcus Rashford. This is Forever United TV. It is 8 a.m. Tuesday morning, the 17th of December. Not long till the big day right now. And that is Liverpool in the new year, not Christmas. I'm only joking. Starting off the day with a bit of a bang. Actually, my voice is actually still recovering from the derby celebrations, actually. I only just realised when I started talking then. But welcome along, everybody. Make sure that you've got the video like and hit that subscribe button too for Forever United TV. We've got you covered on all Manchester United news and information coming in from the club. On and off the pitch, always covered. We've got plenty to get through this morning. So let's crack on with everything that's going on with United. And first of all, starting off with Mr. Marcus Rashford and what we have got in terms of, well, options for him going forward. Now, we've covered everything from the last 2 days, from the fallout from the derby, to Marcus Rashford not being in the squad. United saying yesterday, according to many sources, that they are completely open to him leaving. Would take a bid of around 40 million just to get rid of Marcus Rashford and have him off Manchester United's books. Well, Mark Ogden of ESPN, chief writer for them, who we know very well, has been doing has gone into a bit of a deep dive on this, and some of this has been backed up by Sky and some of this has been backed up as well by The Athletic. So reading through everything, doing a little bit of research for you and going into what has been said and what's actually going on. We've got it all covered here right now. So first of all, in terms of big names that could possibly go for Marcus Rashford in the summer, straight out from these reports, like I said, from them sources, Sky pretty much coming out and saying that Marcus Rashford is not wanted anywhere. And just so, let's get that one out of the way. His off-field antics, his price package, as in wages and how much they'd have to spend in January, nobody wants him. So quite damning from their side of things. But Mark Ogden from ESPN has gone in quite deep onto why and certain things that are available to Marcus Rashford. So the obvious one that everybody would say when Marcus Rashford is, or if United are looking to get rid of Marcus Rashford, the possibility of him leaving, the obvious team that springs to mind is PSG. Well, forget it. They're out of the equation. They have no intention, and even The Athletic have come in on this one as well and said that there's no interest at all from PSG for Marcus Rashford. Whether that ship has sailed or not, and they're looking at everything that's going on. Like a lot of other clubs, they are not interested in Marcus Rashford, so we can take PSG out of it. That was probably a big hope for a lot of Manchester United fans and the club themselves. Obviously, we've done a lot of dealings with PSG in the summer with, obviously, Manuel Ugarte, so how the relationship is there, I do not know, but as far as it stands, there was a look and there was a little bit of a rumour going around that because Marcus Rashford wouldn't be cup-tied for the Champions League, there was a possible move for him to France. Not on the cards. That is not an option for Marcus Rashford, Manchester United or PSG. So he is out of the equation. Barcelona have also been linked with Marcus Rashford. That again is a no-go. Barcelona just do not have the money to spend on Marcus Rashford. Even into the summer, Barcelona would still be struggling. So January is completely off the table. As far as other teams in Spain go, well, you look at Atleti, they just bought Alvarez and spent a big chunk of their money on him, so they're out of it. The only team, according to ESPN's Mark Ogden, that could afford Marcus Rashford is Real Madrid. They're the only ones with the financial clout that could put together a package for the United forward, and as far as they're concerned, they have got zero interest in Marcus Rashford. He's never going to end up at Real Madrid. Let's be fair. When you look at Real Madrid's forward line, When you look at Barcelona's forward line, when you look at even PSG's right now, and everybody that these teams have got in play, and them three big guns that you could look at, you could maybe add Bayern Munich to this as a big team that could afford a package for Marcus Rashford, going off what they've spent before, wage-wise and so on. But look at all four of them big guns. And there, if there was any team in Europe that Marcus Rashford could go to in January, they would be the four that you would put together. Now, none of them, I don't think, or Marcus Rashford would not get anywhere near the starting lineup in any of them sides. And that's down to him, really, and his poor performances at Manchester United. Realistically, can you honestly say he would get in any of them sides? The answer to that is no. We talked about Arsenal yesterday. I don't think Arsenal are going to go for Marcus Rashford in January. That will be a big move. That will be breaking news, massive news if that happens. And I feel like the only permanent move that could happen in Europe would be England. That's the reality of it in terms of who can afford Marcus Rashford right now. So reality is that Europe is out of the equation, except the possibility, Mark Ogden said, with Germany. That's the exception to the rule, but that would only be a loan. And just United getting him out of the club purposes. They wouldn't benefit from it financially. They would maybe lose some of Marcus Rashford's wages off the books. There is looking to a option to maybe move him on in the summer, but revitalise his career like they did somewhat with Jadon Sancho. Make him more of an appealing catch for another big club in the summer, which is obviously like Jadon Sancho, goes over to Dortmund, gets to the Champions League final, does well over in Germany, and then looks like more of an appealing player for someone to buy him in summer. Obviously, no international tournaments this summer, so not much getting in the way, and probably an easier chance for Manchester United to, let's say, get what they need to get done preparation-wise for the transfer window in the summer. It's a bit easier without the obvious international tournaments in the way. So, sending him to Germany on loan, part of his wages would be covered. Obviously, it takes a little bit of a chunk off Manchester United for financial fair play and PSR, going off Marcus Rashford's wages, which we know are astronomical. That's the only way they would benefit from it, but they would lose a squad player, and have they got anyone to bring in for that without recouping any money? So in terms of Europe, a loan with an option possibly, but again, you honestly cannot see a loan with an obligation or option to buy working for any German side at all, because they just haven't got the money like English and other European clubs have. Bayern Munich would probably be the only ones, and let's be honest, he isn't getting in front of anyone in that forward line like we've said. He's not. He's just not good enough right now. And that was the only option for United, which led us to the main report. And what Ogden was saying was the possibility of Marcus Rashford leaving in January is only brought about by a move to the Saudi Pro League. Now, that is all down to Marcus Rashford. We know he would be on probably double the money that he's on right now at Manchester United in the Saudi Pro League. Someone in the Saudi leagues would have to move other foreign players out to bring Marcus Rashford in. As we all know, within the Saudi Pro League, you're only allowed a certain quota of foreign players coming in. So the majority of their teams have to be made up. They have a certain percentage which can be taken by overseas players being brought in. Like we've seen with Ivan Toney and the option for him moving over to Saudi. They had to move players on before they could bring Tony in. So they moved, I think it was Firmino on, that's facilitated that move. Again, that would have to happen, and I just don't know. I honestly don't know the situation. What teams in the Saudi Pro League have got room within their squads? I just not delved deep enough to know how that works over there in Saudi. But that realistically is Manchester United's options, Marcus Rashford's options. In terms of European clubs, I think Marcus would move to any one of them clubs. I think there is credibility in all of them teams, but none of them want him. For reality of getting him gone, the only two viable options, well, you could say three. A move in England, which is unlikely right now, and Saudi Pro League as a permanent move that is completely on Marcus Rashford. United would be completely open to selling him to the Saudi Pro League, but I don't think Marcus Rashford would go for that. I don't know. Where is his head at? I got no idea when it comes to that. Obviously, I feel like he would. I think it would hit his personal pride at 27 when you're supposed to be in your prime, being one of the most highest paid players in the Premier League right now. In fact, in the top 10 highest paid players in the Premier League, to then to actually continue your career, go over to the Saudi Pro League. He still has aspirations of going into the England squad, getting in the World Cup, being involved with Tuchel probably, I'm guessing, for 2026. If he goes to Saudi, does that diminish his chances of getting into the England squad? I would say 100% yes, that pretty much kills that off. Nobody's looking at the Saudi Pro League at any level at all as to how you should be competing, or the level you should be competing at to get into that Tuchel side for England in 2026. Obviously, Ronaldo's an exception to the rule for Portugal because he runs the show, basically. So, Rashford to Saudi, no. I'm just going to say I don't think that move is possible. It is the only one Manchester United could get Marcus Rashford out permanently in January. This is all according to the reports and what's been said. A few personal opinions thrown in there, but honestly, I don't see him going. I said all along, look, they're open to selling him in January, but I don't think they're going to be able to move Rashford on until the summer. I don't think it's possible, but never say never. Manchester United right now are doing what they can. The rumour that was going around yesterday, and I was told some people have gone down the road of Marcus Rashford being out on the tiles again. There is a little rumour going around about him actually being out on the RAS, maybe Friday or Saturday. I don't know. I've been sent the same message by a few people now, so I'm just putting it out there from what I know. I'm not going to hide away from what I have been told, but that's what's been said. Fuming Ruben Amorim. Right now, Manchester United are just managing Marcus Rashford's valuation. A few people have said this as well to me, in that they just want him to get a certain amount of game times, keep him in the public eye, and then sell him on. Facilitate the move, basically. And it is a awkward situation for Ruben Amorim to be handling. So don't expect Marcus Rashford to be completely isolated and out of the squad. There's no Jadon Sancho scenario coming about here. But Manchester United are actively trying to manage his game time to make it look like he is still relevant right now, and maybe try and move him on. But like what Sky said, people know about these things going on behind the scenes. Sky have actually said this. His personal lifestyle and what's going on off the pitch is putting people off buying him. So it's the rumour mill you can say and scaremongering and whatever. But Sky Sports and representatives from Sky Sports are saying this as well. So it's not just us and, say, for instance, my opinion, because you all know that I really don't like Marcus Rashford and what he's done and the way he's been the last year. It's got nothing to do with that. These are actual reports coming out now of what is going on behind the scenes and why Manchester United are looking to move Marcus on. So that's the reality of the whole situation right now and where we're actually at with it. So the options are there for United. Personally, for me, I don't see him going until the summer. I think United will make do, or have to make do, or try and manage this situation until then. And then we look at everything else which is going around from that point. And do you know what? Like I said before, if Marcus Rashford turns his career around at Manchester United and really makes Ineos and Ruben Amorim think in the summer, look, we might have to have another conversation here about this player and staying at the club, then go for it, Marcus. Go for it. Prove us all wrong. That's what everybody wants to happen. That's what everybody needs from this situation. For him, for us, for Ruben Amorim, for Manchester United as a whole, it gives us many more options. And right now, we're not scraping the barrel looking at these stories going, where can he actually go? Can we actually get rid of him? He's a big problem at the club. Look, change your lifestyle. Get back in United's side. Work your ass off like everybody else in that squad. Get back in the team and do something good. That's all you can do. And that is it. My full-on breakdown of this is, from what I've read from Ogden, from Sky, from Laurie Whitwell, from The Athletic, is that Manchester United are stuck. And there's no chance he's going in January, because he isn't going to the Saudi Pro League. I'm pretty certain that is not even on the agenda. But that is, just to round that up there, I'm going to come to the comments now. Marcus Rashford's only viable option for leaving United, and United's only option to get rid of him, is Saudi Pro League. No one else can afford him. I don't know about the loan move to Germany. Might be smart, but with United not being able to bring anybody else in, can we afford to just leave Marcus Rashford out completely and use what we've got? Ruben Amorim made that point in the derby, and that's maybe something to think about going in with all these reports and what could possibly happen. That, you know what, Manchester United can leave Rashford out and play him in certain games. When it comes to a big game, is he even going to ever get on the pitch? That's what you got to look at. And that's the biggest reality of all. Is that even if he's not sold in January, he now knows that he has got no guarantees. He is not going to walk into this side anymore. That's it. The line has been drawn, and let's see what he does from here. let's get into the chat anyway. That is pretty much everything update-wise on what is going on with Rashford and his options. We do have a few super chats I'm going to kickstart with, first of all. Thank you, everybody. Leo, first of all, thank you. I want Champions League. The trophy path is Europa win. Any news on Ahmad Diallo? I will keep asking. I have got an update on Ahmad. Sorry about that, actually. I didn't bring it up at the start, but there is an update on Ahmad. It is actually going across the bottom of your screen right now. That's the latest that I know as to the deal with Ahmad and his negotiations at the moment. I knew about a week and a bit ago that there was I think at the time it was said a 75 grand a week new deal on offer for Ahmad. He's one of the lowest paid players at Manchester United right now, and 75 grand seems really cheap to us. But again, sadly for Ahmad, he's come into a negotiation period playing really well, but with Ineos in charge and not Ed Woodward or Emerto or the old regime of Manchester United. So Ahmad, realistically, is looking at the reality of a structured, performance-based contract. He'll get a decent pay rise, don't get it wrong. Like, he'll be on more than Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo. He has to be on more than them. He's a little bit older, and United need to tie him down. I think whatever is going on, the rumour is 75 grand plus on a 5 with option for a 6th year. So United tying him down to his late 20s, which is very, very important as well for us right now in securing his services, because he is turning out to be an absolute world beater. Did you hear Thierry Henry last night on Sky waxing lyrical about Ahmad and the skill and just a different outlook on that move and what he did with his run and the control of the ball from a world-class striker like Henry, talking about it in a different way and what he did. It was great insight into how Ahmad actually analysed that situation for that second goal for United yesterday. Go watch the clips back, they're everywhere, but brilliant analysis from Thierry Henry on Ahmad's goal yesterday. Really good watch last night. Good result as well, West Ham 1, Bournemouth 1 last night. I'll explain more on that a little bit later in the show as well. Another super chat in from Block N2410 says, Miami with Bex and Messi suits his lifestyle. Just to round off Rashford on that, actually. Good point there, Block. Mark Ogden has also said the MLS is very appealing to Marcus Rashford later on in his career. It does suit him down to the ground, doesn't it? That suits him perfectly, that lifestyle. Do you know what? If Bex could make it happen over in Miami, I bet he would move mountains to bring Marcus Rashford in right now and let him go and play over there. But again, I just think pride is going to take over Marcus right now. I don't see him being anywhere but Europe. I really don't. And we will see. We will see on it. But yeah, let's get back into the other comments as well. Get some flying in, everybody. Andrew says that United need to accept that they will have to pay his wages until the end of the season of his contract and sacked. Then if he wants to play football, he would have to accept lower wages or he is out of the game. 350 grand a week would you leave? Take the money and run. We aren't getting rid of him unless he breaks rules in his contract. Look, it doesn't even matter now. It doesn't even matter. When people say, and I get that, when people say to me and shoot me down, Adam, you're never going to get rid of him. No one's going to buy him. Look, someone will buy him eventually. But the best thing that's happened to United, and this is why I went big on it in the weekend, is even if he doesn't go, we are not going to be looking at him on the pitch every single week anymore. Them days are gone under Ruben Amorim. He has made it very clear. Even if he's still in the squad, he can sit at home and watch. And maybe an academy player could come through and grasp the bull by the horns. You know what I mean? Like, that is the situation right now. Just because of who he is and he's at the club doesn't mean he's now going to play. We've seen that. And the best thing that could happen to United is Rashford being out of the squad. And for more reasons than one, like I just said, maybe that's the kick up the arse he needs. He's missed the Manchester derby as a Manchester lad, being fully fit because of his antics and his lifestyle. And, of course, now it means that everybody is going to get a chance at United, which is where we're going to move next because he has been talking up Antony as well. Oh, by the way, on the leak situation, Whitwell has come out and said both Garnacho and Marcus Rashford had nothing to do with the leaks. That's from The Athletic and Laurie Whitwell. So that news also came out last night. So anyone thinking it was Marcus Rashford on the leak side of things, wrong. It definitely isn't. What I was told as well, it definitely isn't Marcus Rashford on that side of it. Rashford's got his own issues, but one thing that he isn't involved in is the leaks coming out of Manchester United on the teams. Ruben Amorim on that side of things as well. Apparently he's not happy about the leaks coming out. and it will never be happening again. Manchester United have sent a message out to all of the players, all of the staff, that this will not be tolerated going forward. And United have they've drawn a line in the sand when it comes to leaked teams. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens this week if anything is leaked out. I think they've made a public show of, they've made a public stance, haven't they, United, with this. There's been lots of leaks, and not so much bad leaks, but they've allowed people to report this a little bit more this week, as to send out a bit of a message, I think, that this is not going to be tolerated, because I think it moves past the players into their private circles. So if that gets sent out and everyone's reporting it, then people on the outside of players that may have a link to the player or be related to the player get to know about this, and they get that little bit more of a sterner warning, like it's there in front of them. They can't ignore it. It's like if a player was told privately, can we really say that player was going to say anything to that person that might have been leaking information out? With it being out in the public eye and this being known by everybody now, how Man United's stance is on this, it is a little bit more of a sterner warning, I think, to these people that have been alongside players or involved in players that could actually be leaking this out. So yes, it does seem like we are now in a position where we are getting the message across, and United will not stand for this. So it's going to be interesting to it's going to be interesting to see if anything does change in terms of the leaked teams. Let's see if anything starts to come out as much as what it has done before. Bab says, just go anywhere, please. You're no use to us in terms of Rashford. It's gone on too damn long. It's called discipline. Get some, says Mel. Don says, Welsh Red, hope his agent then has the club lined up. We'll see. His brother and his agent is obviously... I don't know what his thinking is. But we all know from previous incidents with him how awkward his brother could be to work with, and what's happened before at the club. So, yeah, I'm guessing he's not happy at the moment, but that's a good thing for us. Let's see what else we've got in here. London says, great idea, build a mansion. The others weren't quite right for him. Sheesh. Oh, I'm not sure. That's a reply to someone else there. Sorry about that. Rashford should go MLS. He'd be MVP over there. No doubt at all. I wonder how long it'll be until he's on an interview with the snake Piers Morgan to try and get chucked out of the club. I don't think we'll go that far. With Brighton wanting to loan out Evan Ferguson in January, could we do a loan swap with Brighton? Remember, Lingard done well on loan. Could be a way to get more money for Rashford in the summer. Look, the Germany loan one I think is a real option for United. It's just if they're willing to accept that Marcus Rashford's wages are covered to a certain degree, like how much they can negotiate with a German club to pay Marcus Rashford. Like if he's on, obviously he's not on that 350 grand a week at the moment because United are not in the Champions League. We have obviously hit the 25% deduction mark in wages because United are not in the Champions League. So all staff lose a big chunk of their wages for that. So how much of Marcus Rashford's £200,000 a week wages will someone in Germany pay? It's not going to be a lot, is it? I mean, we'd be lucky to get someone to pay 100 grand of Marcus Rashford's wages. We're not even going to get 50% of his wages covered if he goes out on loan. Is it worth it for United for that much? Is it worth it if we get rid of Marcus Rashford on loan to maybe build him up and him be a problem away from United for Ruben Amorim, and he gets better over there and then we can sell him in the summer? And like Keane said, could we loan in another striker to replace him? Loan for loan from elsewhere. It doesn't necessarily be to a club and back again, but it could be a deal that United look at. Maybe they could loan in a striker that they've got their eyes on, like Evan Ferguson, as another replacement or another option for United, and he's on loan elsewhere, gathering value hopefully and turning a corner and playing well. Super chat in from Leo again. Second one, Leo. Thank you, buddy. Ineos spent a lot of money getting Amorim. He will not be taken for an idiot. Get ready for a high jump, you lazy gits. Leo's going on it here. Leo's not happy. I get it though, and yes, Ineos did invest a lot of time and a lot of money into Ruben Amorim. They are not going to let him just suffer under what was the issue that was there before. Definitely not. On players that do deserve a chance, obviously Antony has been talked about a little bit. His cameos have attracted attention. Ruben Amorim has been talking about Antony and the chance he has got. And he said everybody's got a clean slate and everybody can do well. It's up to them to grab that chance and take it. And I think Antony falls into the category of players that have really pulled his sleeves up, just got on with training, got on the pitch and done a job whenever necessary. And I think we will see more of Antony, especially going through this Christmas period with the games mounting up. And you know what? I wouldn't even put it past him starting him against Tottenham on Thursday. Don't think that that's an impossibility, because you're looking at Malacia. Malacia obviously has been in and started a certain amount of games. I think Antony's come in the Bodo Glimt game as well and started that one. And you know what, looking at the games that we've got coming up here, some big games, lots of games in close proximity where you might see him getting a bit more sub time. You might see him start the odd game as well, like Carabao Cup. But let's not forget, when we got Rangers, if we get through that Rangers game in January and win that, we're pretty much qualified. In fact, we are qualified if we win that game. Then you've got a spare game in Steaua Bucharest where Antony could start that game and we could rest the whole team. So looking at the fixtures coming up, all of the games that are coming around for Manchester United, like we said, if we beat Spurs and we've got 2 more games, then a double header, 2-legged semi-final for the Carabao Cup as well, that gets thrown into the mix in January. So January becomes very, very busy. And all of these players will be looking at this situation right now and going, I've got a chance of actually getting some serious game time here. And Antony needs to be in the reckoning, I feel. I think there is a real possibility you will see Antony. And he was one of them players that was down for leaving in January. Look, if the bid comes in, he will be gone. We know that with most of the players. I just don't see anybody going down the road of going for Antony at a substantial amount that United will accept. I think 20 million will get Antony gone. I don't see anyone spending that money. If someone does, then I think Ineos take it. They run all the way to the bank with it. 2.5 years into his 5-year contract, halfway through. Yes, they're going to take a loss on the initial fee that they outlaid, but they're going to save 2.5 years of wages, which is 200 plus a week, which is millions. 20 million back in transfer fee. You're not getting anywhere half near, but do you know what? This isn't a problem for Ineos to look at in that way. This is a problem for Ineos to deal with now. And if someone comes in with that money, you're going to take that money, aren't you? Because they need to invest it back in. So there you would be looking at 20 million for Antony, 25 million for Jadon Sancho in the summer. All of a sudden, Manchester United's finances start to open up a little bit of an option for United to bring somebody else in. So reality is that Antony, I feel, is going to play a big part one way or another now in this next 6 months for Ruben Amorim, because even if we don't sell him in January, I think there's a part for him in this squad. Get your comments in on that as well. Leo was gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Leo. He's on fire this morning. Leo is in the Christmas spirit, everybody. Thank you, Leo. Legend for 12 months as well. Wow. Gabriel Sims, Darren, Red Jedi, Claren, and Andreas Johnson. Welcome to the Members Club, everybody. Make sure you give Leo a big thank you. Let's get some big comments coming in here. I can see them lining up. United Spotlight, Rashford will play again, and a lot probably. He's part of the squad and we need to play him to keep some value. He will get games between now and the summer unless it's been agreed he's 100% gone in January. Look, I totally agree with that comment. It's like what I just said. United need to play him to gather value for him, and to be honest, like I said with Antony, he's now just a member of the squad. Marcus Rashford isn't the big-time Charlie anymore. And I said this the other day. He's no better than Antony. He's no better than Lindelof, Maguire. He's in line with all of these players now. Welcome to the real world, Marcus. The pedestal that you was put on has been taken from under you. And now you have to work just like everybody else at Manchester United. So welcome to the squad, my friend. Let's see what you've got. And let's see what attitude you've got going forward. Because that's what it's going to take to get into a Ruben Amorim side. And now, like United Spotlight says there, he will get games. And it's up to him what he does with them games. Same as Antony, like I just explained. Same with Lindelof if he gets a chance. Same with Maguire. Same with, obviously, all the other forwards like Mount, like Xerxes. Players on the peripheral, players on the fringe like that. I think you have to look at them and say they are going to take whatever opportunities they can because they believe that they are going to get another chance after that with Ruben Amorim. And I think that's what's been proven as well. Another super chat in from PJ. Thank you. just don't play him. The negative outweigh the very little positive there is. He was the big difference when he came off in the Europa League game. Yeah, I mean, look, I think proof is there in that Amorim won't let Marcus Rashford get away with anything, or any player. Forget Marcus Rashford, like any player. Like Garnacho, let's not forget about him. Like, he has done something wrong behind the scenes as well. He said there's no discipline or any misdemeanors or anything like that, Ruben Amorim, but there has to be something, because Garnacho was getting more game time than Marcus Rashford. He was starting more games. So Garnacho has done something wrong, and it's not just him. And I think with them being two big players and two attacking players, with United struggling for goals, to be dropped from a Manchester derby tells you everything of how Amorim is going to run Manchester United in the future, and that's good. So let's see how both of them react to as he turns his career around. It's up to him now. When people say he's going to sit on these wages, when people say players or anyone that's on this amount of money is just going to sit on these wages, look, there is a future for them, and they won't be able to. They won't be able to handle sitting out of big games like that. Their value and their value off the pitch just diminishes completely. Sponsors, endorsements, everything like that just goes out of the window completely. And that's what you've got to look at as well in all of this. That's the problem that a lot of these players are going to have going forward. And ultimately, they will need to change. They have to change. Otherwise, their value is going to go off for them personally and their brand-wise. Because, yeah, Marcus Rashford's got a lot of money right now, but that's not going to see him through the rest of his bleeding career. That's not going to see him through the rest of his life. Like, let's be honest. So, yeah. Morning, everyone in the chat. Anyone who is just coming in as well, keep your comments flying in. Kvaratskhelia would be a decent replacement for Marcus Rashford at Manchester United. He would be if we sold him, because we would need to sell him to bring someone in like that, because we haven't got the money to spend, and the price that they want Napoli for him is extortionate, as upwards of 60 million. United can't afford that right now. So when you look at that situation, you have to just say, yeah, no. Yes, I would love him. No, we can't afford him. That's the reality. And this is why a lot of players are running their contracts down right now. Who is Tramalampos Kostoulas? Charalampos. I think that's how you say it. Charalampos Kostoulas. He is a 17-year-old Greek striker. You can tell by the name. That is plying his trade right now over in the Greek league with Olympiacos. A 17-year-old striker that United are apparently also looking at. Yes, another 17-year-old. The beauty of this one is he would probably cost not a lot of money. Seriously, not a lot of money. His market value is barely over $500,000 right now. Just bringing this up because transfer news and options for United. Again, this is the way that United are possibly working right now. He's playing in his first team football, playing over in Greece. As we know, standard over there, it's all right. But again, like we said with Diego Leon, he's getting experience in first team football, in professional football level. And this is players that United are looking at right now. He's got quite a few appearances for Olympiacos first team this season. He's scored 3 goals, got 1 assist, I think, in his last 4 games. So he's hitting the mark in terms of form right now. Obviously, you're not going to get him too cheap, but his contract runs out at Olympiacos in 2026. So at the end of this season, he's going to have 1 year left. And these are the players. Don't want to make such a big deal about it. Not going to act like we know a lot about him or that he's going to be the next best thing. Again, he's a player in that category alongside Diego Leon that we've brought in as a potential young kid that we can get cheap, that we can develop because it's time, that has already got experience at first team football level, that could possibly make more of an impact than, say, for instance, our academy players. That's really what it is. But when you look at players like this, you look at contract situations, United being a bit more savvy, a bit cleverer in the transfer market, I think, more than anything else with this. And just looking for them little deals, them little gems here and there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like Tyler Diblin at Southampton. Players like that come through and just go, bang, wow. Yes, there you go. This is the type of player United are looking to try and get at as well. Don't get me wrong, there will be substantial buys, and United will be buying ready-made players as well, but they're surrounding the squad with these young, up-and-coming players that could come in and take the roles of the players, say, for instance, like a Luke Shaw, who is on the peripheral, Lindelof, Eriksen. They're trying to strengthen the squad well, waiting till the summer to bring in the bigger name players, like we've talked about plenty in the likes of Alphonso Davies, the likes of Gyökeres, players like that. If you're looking to strengthen the squad in depth, you have to be clever in the transfer market and look at everything that's out there and available. And I think players like that are where United are going to be going. Let's not forget, we have spent a lot of time and effort in the summer in bringing in the likes of Sekou Kone in midfield. We've obviously got Obi Martin, who is coming through and doing well, along with our other academy players. Like I made a big video the other day regarding Dangor coming back from injury in central midfield as well for Manchester United. So looking at that and everything that United have got option-wise, you have to look at it and go, we clearly haven't got loads of money. We have to sell a lot of players, but we are actively looking and trying to be a bit more proactive within the transfer market and building up and doing a lot of work behind the scenes before the window actually opens. I think that's important to remember as well. And I do think that Manchester United will be busy in the transfer market, but I don't think it's going to be loads of world-class players. I don't think it's going to be well-known players galore coming in. I think maybe 2 or 3 big signings, and the rest will be made up with players like this. Tyler Dibley in rotation with Ahmad on the left. 10, it could be. I mean, Southampton look nailed on for going down, don't they? So in terms of the transfer window, like there are options for United there. You look at what we said before with Liam Delap. Obviously, he's going to be relegated with Ipswich if they don't start getting better results. Yes, they won at weekend. But look at the players, just for instance, in that bottom 3. You've got the likes of Tyler Dibley, you've got the likes of Cunha at Wolves as well, who United have been linked with. And you've got the likes of Liam Delap. Players like that are not going to go back down to the Championship, I don't think. I think a Premiership team would be snapping them up. And I think that's the way that United are going with it. And I think they're just keeping an eye on absolutely everything. The free transfer market as well, let's not forget that. The likes of Angel Gomez, the likes of Alphonso Davies. Kirkez is pretty cheap from Bournemouth as well. That could be an option for United. And then you're going into the striker side of things. You've got Gyökeres, you've got Osimhen, both very similar priced. And options are there for them within their contracts for United to go out and buy them players as well this summer. So, yeah, I think United, in terms of Kostoulis from Olympiacos, just a 17-year-old that we don't know a lot about that United are monitoring, that could possibly be a cheap buy for United to bring in and maybe nurture another young teenager coming through into United's first team. That's the news on the transfer front that is new anyway. Into the chat we go. Sir Alex Ferguson hit David Beckham with a shoe when he was underperforming. Imagine if coach started dishing out these sorts of underperformers. He didn't. He kicked a boot in frustration, which hit David Beckham. He didn't deliberately go for David Beckham with the shoe. I don't think we can say that. But yeah, in terms of the airdryer treatment and these players getting a reality check, I think Ruben Amorim in his own way is doing that. I really do. So, yeah, I don't count out these players being severely punished by the manager, by the coach. I think punishment for Garnacho and Rashford being left out of a matchday squad is as good as we can get in the modern day football, and the biggest message that can be sent to any player in particular. Eric Ten Hag dropped Rashford from the starting lineup as a form of discipline action. He never did it again. Ole was made to apologise for his comments on Rashford and his work effort. Coincidence? I don't think that Eric Ten Hag really was easily going to get away with what he did to Marcus Rashford against Newport, if that's what you're alluding to. Even when he turned up late, when he was sleeping that time against Wolves, he put him on the bench still. So, really, when you look at it, I don't think Ten Hag did. I think, like, right now, again, I go back to it, the difference is Amorim has got Ineos behind him, and we know Sir Jim Ratcliffe isn't going to stand for anything. So, that's the difference compared to Ole, compared to Eric Ten Hag in terms of player power FC. It's not going to happen. Look, Ineos just didn't like Eric Ten Hag. and I think they were right in getting rid of him. Adam, do you see any new faces coming in January, like an Edison coming in? Selling players is great, but we need replacements. No is the answer to that. Thanks for the super chat again, Leo. Brilliant performance from you this morning, mate. No, I don't. I like Edison. There is a chance for United to get him, but I said it in that special video I did on Edison. It's all good and well, Florian Plettenberg saying that United are interested and want to make a move in January. Look, he's in the Champions League. He's playing every single game. The top of Serie A. There is not a chance in hell that they sell Edison in January for me, going off that, unless United drop in a serious bid for him, which we haven't got money for. Players do need to be sold before United make any moves on any players. And like we just said then, I feel like it's going to be impossible for us to actually move certain players on to gather enough value to buy players that we really want in a squad at United, like Edison. I think it all goes down in the summer, mate, to be honest. I think that's the reality. Does the stream keep cutting out? It has cut out on me a couple of times as well. Hopefully that's all rectified right now. I don't know if it's a YouTube problem. Hopefully not. But sorry about that if anyone has had any problems. Hi Adam, I think the problem with Rashford is his appetite for playing football, full stop. I don't think many clubs will be lining up for him. His attitude and baggage are too much hassle for clubs. He should have been sold last summer. He really should have been sold last summer, or even summers before. I think that's the issue that we've got right now, and it is a big one. Could we get Alvaro Fernandez in January? Buyback clause? Yes, we could, Al. It's whether or not United commit to him, knowing that they could buy someone else for nothing in the summer, as in Alphonso Davies. It depends. If United know that Madrid are going to win the battle for Alphonso Davies, and let's not forget, we are less than 2 weeks away now until Alphonso can actually agree a deal with anybody outside of the Bundesliga. So Alphonso Davies, in 2 weeks' time, could agree a deal to go to Manchester United. So I just feel like the January transfer window will run its course. I don't think we'll buy anyone in like Alphonso Davies or get anybody else in like that we can get cheap until we know about, Alvaro Fernandez, until we know about Alphonso Davies, if you get what I mean. Because as soon as January 1st comes, United can go bang, signed. And we could buy Alphonso Davies. We could sign him, because he's allowed to agree a deal with another club from January to play from July 2025, as we know. So that could happen. I don't think we're going to get any movement on Alvaro until we know about Alphonso. Alvaro to Alphonso. There you go. Henry says, in my opinion, it's not that we have no money, it's financial fair play and PSR. And if that's the case, who in their right mind would buy a club with no money, Adam? Who in the right mind would buy a club with no money? I mean, Sir Jim Radcliffe has got plenty of money to invest. He just can't invest it. That's it. It is financial fair play. United need to be in the Champions League. Expect United's transfer window in the summer to change completely if we get Champions League football. It will be a different outlook altogether. Another super chat in from Enjoy Writing. Bruno has gotten on board with Ruben. To be fair, Bruno's performances have been good. Individual errors are there, and we can criticise that, but Bruno's numbers and Bruno's performances since Ruben Amorim arrived are right up there. Massive goal involvement from him. There are lots of players that have done. And this is the chance that Ruben has said that every player has got. And to be disciplined within the first month is embarrassing for the likes of Rashford and Garnacho. It really is. It is really embarrassing for them. And they do need to change their mindset and change their attitude, I think, right now. And let's see what happens. It's exciting to see what they actually might do. Please give the video a like. We're almost at the 300 live like mark. I didn't even think we were going to get there today, but only 29 away. Well over 1,100 in the room. If everyone who hasn't already given the video a like, please give the video a like. And then I think we'll actually hit that 300 live likes, which is mega. Thank you for all the super chats as well today. Leo in particular has been amazing. PJ, enjoy writing as well. And Block also with your super chats as well. I am going to wrap up the show there. That is us all up to date with everything going on at Manchester United right now. Thank you, mods and members in the chat, for helping out. Epic attempts of hitting that like mark. And I can see it just piling up right now. Absolutely brilliant. I love you all. Make sure that you stay tuned for later. I will keep you updated with any news that is coming out. Obviously back at 6:30 this evening. It is now looking ahead to the Spurs game, and we're going to get all of the look into that, what might actually happen, any updates coming out of Manchester United as well. I will have you covered, so make sure your notifications are also on, as well as hitting that subscribe button. And that is all done, everybody. Thank you, everyone. I will see you all later on.